with Chris Wolf. How are you doing, my bro?
I'm good in you. Well, as good as you can be these days.
I-
Geez, like
is it cold on that side?
that's not too bad. We're dipping into the sevens overnight. I mean, it's manageable, but like guys from Durban, and they're gonna hate it.
Well, it's freezing on this side. Absolutely freezing. My cat's having a crazy half hour at the moment, chasing everything it can find. At the same time. So, dude, yeah, thanks for being on the show, man.
No, cool, man. Thanks for having me. I dig the show. I actually watched a couple of episodes again last night. It's really cool.
You've had a seriously good career in South Africa. I mean, you were one of the pioneers, man.
Yeah, man. Back in the day, there weren't very when I started at the magazine, there weren't any performance magazines around, and overseas there was Max Power. It just started gaining like big traction. I was 4 or 5 years old at the time, and people in this country were wanting a media thing to look up to, like one of those magazines, and yeah, it just worked. Right time, right place, and so people know me now, which is really cool.
How was it back then? I mean, like I said, everything was new. Yeah, look, I know on the rodding side. I mean, the rodding was going and from the 50s, but it was a hobby, and it was these things that guys were building on the side. It wasn't an industry. I mean, your side of the market, or the tuner side of the market, just overnight it just became such a big industry.
It did explode, and that was helped along a hell of a lot by Brian Earl Spooner and all the rest of the Fast and Furious crew, because that came out at the same time as the magazine, pretty much. And because of that perfect timing, it just went absolutely mad. And anything went. I mean, if you wanted to lower your car back then, it was a bit of a mission. You couldn't find springs for just about any car, only the popular stuff. So angle grinders came out. People would do whatever they could to look cool in the scene, and the scene just started growing. We had the weirdest stuff. We had the tire flies, the undercar lighting. We've been through some phases, but it's not. We've actually got our own flavor now, luckily, in the last 20 years.
No, we do. I was watching an episode of Inside West Coast Customs on the new season, and they were building a car, and they had to find 20-inch spinners. But it's like the new season, and how they had to go try and find spinners because they couldn't find spinners anywhere.
Yeah, it's actually mad. Yeah, it's like things that we take for granted. Like even with like the car that I drive, I've got an old Corsa, but it's the weirdest thing because I was finishing high school, or I just finished high school when the Opel Corsas had come out. So to me, like a Corsa is not an old car. I saw it launch, kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But now, if I walk outside, it's actually a 20-year-old car, and it's getting on in years. But yeah, it's actually strange to look at it like that, because other things aren't moving on the same to me anyway. So that just makes all the classics and the other stuff look even better and cooler because they are actually that old. It's weird in my head how it works.
Yeah, but you're probably you're like me. You look in the mirror and you go, I still look like the way I did when I was 20. You know,
exactly like just 1 or 2 grays. That's it.
Exactly, just a little bit of gray coming on the side.
Yeah. This is an industry that can keep you looking young and feeling young, but it's also an industry that can get you looking very gray and very old before your time too.
I think I have probably aged about 10 years in the last 2 months. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. No, 100%. I'm there, and I thrive on events. I live for events. I shoot events. Events are my thing. And events aren't a thing anymore, which is really, really not fun.
Yeah, but I see your comments on Facebook and stuff, and you're right to say proper photographers like yourself are very underrated in South Africa. You know, people think it's like designers at the same time. Yeah, dude, but it's just going to take you like 10 minutes. How can you charge me so much? Yeah,
it's true. It's such a sad fact, man. I'm 100% convinced that myself and a few other guys I know in the industry that work with motoring photography, if we were doing this in another country, we would be bigger than Larry Chen and those kind of guys. I mean, because of when we started, of how long ago we started. Because we started before a lot of those guys were actually a name. But in SA, it's not as easy, but it makes it a challenge, I guess. And it's been fun. I've got to do stuff I would have never done doing anything else. So it does open a lot of doors for you. But it's just not the same as overseas. But there's still no regrets.
Well,
Been able
yesterday you got visited by a dinosaur. I mean, dude, how many
to.
people?
Yeah, it's mad, and that's also scary because that's on the new car side of things where I do like the motoring reviews of new cars for my website. And there, I was just looking through this week, like a couple of guys I know from a really big publication have just been retrenched, and it's
What?
happening all through the industry. There's reporters and journalists retrenchments left, right, and centre. So it's actually pretty scary out there now.
Look, print's in trouble worldwide.
Yeah, big trouble.
I was talking. Look, I mean, with the show, I've been talking to guys all over the world who's been involved in print and magazines and stuff. And then I've got a bunch of friends from some US magazines as well. And what happened in the US, I don't know if you heard, was a company went and bought out all the distribution points. You know, all the like,
Oh wow!
and they went bang.
Oh
So
wow!
yeah, and that was, I mean, and then you had that knock-on effect with, I mean, what last year, what they closed 17 top car magazines in a day.
Jeez, like that's
Yeah,
insane.
super street rodding, classic trucks, all those magazines went in a day.
Yeah.
Um,
No, man.
so it's just like I said, in South Africa, unfortunately, it's just the times that I think that magazines are heading to the point where a printed magazine is going to be like coffee book table thing. It's a
Yeah.
expensive, high quality product that you're going to start buying, not a necessity unless it's like an huisgenoot or stuff like that.
Yeah, and it should be quarterly or something as well. Not it can't be monthly anymore.
Look, that's what we're looking at. I mean, I'm trying to sort out just because, I mean, you know that our distribution is gone. RNA closed down.
Yeah.
So
I heard so, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, so we're looking into new distribution and stuff, but even then, we're probably not going to come back monthly or every 2 months. We'll see. Rather,
Mm.
I think rather than do speciality magazines or something like that, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Like a niche themed one every now and then will work, I reckon, yeah.
Yes. At the moment, we're just all playing the market and stuff. While everyone's trying to recover more than anything, because I mean, you know, magazines survive off of advertising. In South
Yeah,
Africa.
that's exactly it.
Yeah. And the US market works a little bit different. They because they're so big, they can still survive off of magazine sales. You know, our
Yeah,
market is
makes
just
sense.
it's tiny. But now, so what have you been working on, or what have you been busy with? Because you've got multiple things. I mean, dude, you photography, you've got the tattoo thing, you've got your site. What are you busy with?
Anything that gets my interest, it's like a dog with a bone, then I'll dive full in so I can learn all I can about it. So in the last like 2 years, I know everything about BMX now and mountain biking and all the top guys there. Like you said with the tattoo things, I'm still involved with I started Pricked in SA to interview tattoo artists around SA, but good ones. You get a lot that aren't great. So I wanted to get all the good ones in one place, like a central hub where people can come look. And if they scroll through the page and they saw work, it would be good work, and it would be work who from somebody I would actually go and sit with. But the hard thing there was I tried to do it to obviously make money. That's why you open businesses and do stuff. But the only thing that was happening was not advertising space. People were just wanted to trade tattoo time for that, and that's brilliant because you get covered in tattoos, but you can't exactly pay the rent with your forearm. So, but yeah, like right now, like you said, I shoot. I'm automotive photography is like my that's what I do. That's my main line of business. But when this lockdown happened, I got asked by Suzuki SA. They said, do you want to make a video over lockdown? And I was like, no, I don't know how to make video. But I said, actually, cool, bring it, drop the car off, and let's do it. So lockdown, I made a point of sitting down and learning how to use iMovie, which came on my laptop. And I've made 3 or 4 videos now, and it's actually not bad. So my new thing is video. So I'm going to buy a microphone soon, a light or two, and just to do content for myself, really. Nothing like special. Like I just did one where I'm busy with one where I fitted new outside door handles to the Corsa because the old ones were faded.
Yeah.
Basic stuff like that. So that's got my interest right now, is doing videos and that. But obviously shooting events, that's my main thing. It will always be. So I just keep going online and looking at wish lists of what I want. Actually, no. Also during lockdown, I've been watching a hell of a lot of detailing videos too.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just find them therapeutic. So like the guys at Ammo NYC, huge channels which are really cool. So now I'm actually looking for a nice high pressure hose and a full detailing kit, because I think a next step that I can do for some guys is offer them, drop your car off on a Saturday, you'll get a full detail inside and out, plus a photo shoot, and you get your car back on the Monday. So like a package. I'm looking at shit like that. But yeah, you've got to try keep thinking out the box. Otherwise, you're never going to do anything. You just have to. The hustle is real.
Yeah. That's what's the thing? Just keep swinging, dude. The whole time.
Yeah, exactly that.
I mean, I'm sitting at the moment now between South Africa trying to get things going back out here, working with the US. I mean, I was talking to someone last night. I'm finishing meetings and stuff now at 11 o'clock at night. So I'm like sitting from 6 till 11, pushing, trying to get stuff going the whole time. You come to the weekend, and then and then I worked it in the day with my kids in the house because school's up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so try and do that with a 10-month-old and a 3-year-old.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier when one's 24 and is self-sufficient. It
Exactly,
makes a big difference.
exactly. Now, but you just got nominated for an award again, didn't you?
Not an award this time. This one was for the South African Car of the Year through the SA Guild of Motoring Journalists.
Mm.
They run the coach. So for the second year running, I've been nominated by my peers, which
Yeah.
is quite cool, to be a trainee juror again. So last year I was a trainee juror. This year, and then next year I'll be a trainee juror, and that will be my second one. After that, you become a full juror. So then you're like one of the big bosses. But it's really cool. As a trainee, you still pretty much do the same stuff. So yeah, it's really good fun, and it's nice to do, and it's nice to actually have on your motoring CV that this is something you've taken part in, because South Africa actually has one of the most intensive testings of these Car of the Year competitions in the world.
Oh,
With yeah, we've got the most amazing platform to gather the data and to get the scoring system, the scoring done. We are the leaders in the world with that. A lot of them are just a bunch of old men sitting around the table saying, "Yeah, we like this, cool," and that's it done. Or it's based on sales or feedback from magazine articles and people. But this one, you've actually got all like judges, like motoring journalists who know a bit about cars, test driving them through different kinds of things, and actually got a proper scoring system that you can't cheat, because you get like, say you get like 100 points, and that 100 points you can allocate to like 10 cars. But so you can't give all your points to one car on styling because it's a personal favorite. When you get to a car that is really cool and you want to tick styling, it says, hey, you've used all your styling points on those cars. So you can't, you have to, you got to actually think about it. It's not just you like this and tick it off. So that's a cool thing. So yeah, that's my latest one, is that nomination with the guild, which is a really cool organization for me anyway. I'm loving it.
On the event side, have you got any feedback of what events are still going to start happening this year, or what's going to start? Oh, just repeating myself twice.
Well, yeah, yesterday, SWAT Corps was open for some practice for the guys. So the guys who are into track.
Kilani as well. Yeah, they all
Yeah,
they're doing October.
yeah, all of them. Yeah, so they and I mean a lot of the race. I can imagine that because they had to take bookings. Obviously, otherwise too many people would rock up. But I can imagine that email inbox must have been so full because everybody really wants to get out there and race. So it's really cool to see that, and it's possible to do some kinds of events. I'm 100% sure. I actually shot one last week that guys had it outside the shop. And they had sanitizers in place. Everybody had masks. Everybody kept the right distance. Even though everybody was chatting to each other. And at no point in time was there more than 15 people at the shop. People came in and left all the time. But according to what the regulations are out there, nothing was broken, and it was actually a really cool vibe. So yeah, I think events can work if they start opening up. People just being clever. You just got to think about it. I spoke to one of the guys the other day, and I gave an idea, and I was laughed at. But I think it could work quite well. Like, say now you want a like a rod show. You want to have, you know how it works.
Yeah.
So you announce your date. So, but you can invite the cars, 50 cars, to arrive from 9 a.m. to 11:30. So you've got 2.5 hours. At 11:30, all those cars must leave, and another 50 cars can come in and display for the next 2 hours. So
That's
you do it
actually
like in a
cool. Because
yeah,
that
something
means
like that,
that
a
you've got a
rotation of
nice
cars, a
rotation
crowd.
going on. Yeah, and
Yeah,
whoever's at the event, but you see, and it's I think that it comes down to the amount of people at the event still that hits it. Because but if you limit it to 50 people, it means you're 25 people because you normally have two people per car.
yeah, also
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
So you need to work through your numbers of your car and your spacing. But dude, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, that's
Um,
the thing. I mean, there's actually an event coming up that's very clandestine, obviously, because people don't want things to know that I might possibly, maybe or maybe not be shooting at some point in time that does maybe or maybe not involve racing. Um, but I can guarantee you, all the guys that go are they're not stupid. They're multimillionaires. They're business owners.
yeah.
They're not the kind of guys who are going to go out and be reckless and oh, no, you're sick. They guys that you trust.
Mm.
So, but I mean, still, you can trust whoever out there, but trust yourself. So, yeah, so I'm looking forward to hopefully, maybe not, maybe seeing this event maybe take place and maybe shooting it if it does happen, maybe possibly.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that. Look, at the moment, we just need to get stuff to start getting back to normal. I mean, like I
Yeah,
get the whole point, and I understand that things are rising. I mean, to be honest, I haven't even watched to see what the Corona toll is sitting on in weeks. I've just been
yeah, no,
busy
myself, I
surviving.
haven't checked.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. It was there. It was around scaring the crap out of me for a while, and then
Yeah.
eventually I was waking up going, I just can't look anymore. I'll look after me. If I do get it, I get it. I'm
Yeah.
hoping I'm healthy enough to go through it, but I don't. I'm not going to go looking for it. Put it that way.
Well, it was like every morning you would wake up and you'd see what's happening in the world and stuff. And now it's just like, oh God, I'm over it, man.
Yeah,
I want to get going again. And it's just, I was saying to someone that social media has just become such a sad place at the moment. It's so
yeah,
depressing,
it's hectic.
mean, and horrible, and fighting, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's just yeah. Unfortunately, we use it for work, and it's become a part of our life.
yeah, that's the thing.
Um,
So many people I know like tell me to get off social media and give it a break. I'm like, I can, but then the little income that I'm gaining through the social media stuff will disappear, and I can't do that. So
exactly,
you have
exactly,
to. Yeah,
exactly. You know,
got
um,
to try to tune out the loonies.
exactly. Dude, I have been batting people off of my Facebook page like crazy. You know, as soon as I see some racist comment or something, I don't even
Yeah,
bye. I do not.
yeah, straight.
I just believe that at a time like this, you need to try and surround yourself with positive people, um,
Mm,
and get positive vibes, and that's it. Look forward, stop
yeah, yeah,
hanging on with the past shit and just move on more than anything else.
yeah.
You know? I wanted to ask you now. You were saying earlier how things have changed, from when you worked with the magazine in the beginning until now.
Mm,
How do, Give us an overview. How do you think the style have gone? Because to me, at one stage, the same thing happened in the US. It was just all about money.
mm,
It just the cars just it was about who's got the biggest bang that they can throw on it. And it was the biggest cars and the most expensive
mm.
cars and that type of.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think that's still sitting there, and or do you think that that's
Yeah.
changed? Going back to you know the guys, the actual car guys.
Yeah, I think it's more. It's weird because I mean I do a lot more on the VW scene than most of the scenes.
Mm.
So there it's actually it's varied. It's actually insane how much variation there is because you've got the from the Mark Ones up to the Golf Sevens now. So you've already got like 7 generations of cars that these fans are playing around with and modifying. So while like the Golf Sixes and Sevens aren't cheap, and like there's so many Golf Sevens out there that have got full body kits, air ride suspension. They've got a good couple of 100K put into the cars. Um, those guys get I mean, they do a good build, and those guys get like, you get like your respect for what you've done. So the guys they get a good bit of respect for that. But then you get those same guys who've got that same kind of budget for that Golf 7 that have got a Golf 1, and they put that same kind of budget into a Golf 1. So yeah, it's you can't actually pinpoint it anymore. But what I am seeing now is what happened in the late 90s and early 2000s. because we didn't have access to so much of the overseas stuff. We had a lot of guys custom fabricating stuff, guys learning to do manifolds, hybrid turbos, and all of that stuff. And then now that started fading out as the cars were turbocharged from the factory. It was a lot easier to modify them. So all of the fast stuff became plug and play, pull it off the shelf, put it on. So all the big turbocharged proper builds were falling away. They started becoming rare. There was only a handful of guys that raced with like super engine swaps, the 1JZ or the 1UZ swaps. But now it's starting to come back around that the guys are happy to do the plug and play chip tuning and stuff because you're getting big power out of all of those cars. But I'm seeing a lot more inquiries and people on my side will personally getting hold of me trying to find out who can get steel cranks and who can get special pistons and rods because they want to do big builds now again. They want the huge front-mounted intercoolers. They don't want the typical car that came from the factory that had a turbo on. They want stupid little things like a Nissan Micra with a SR20 motor turbocharged in it, which is nice to see because that to me, that was my good old day of racing.
Yeah.
Was when it was all that serious stuff. Like, I mean, one of the insane cars was what's his name, man? Joe Bear. He had the little mini Cooper, which was really, really cool. He was 11 at the time racing it against men, and it had a Hayabusa motor in it. And stuff like that is what we're starting to see again. Is like really cool shit's coming together. And I think a lot of it has got to do with the access we've got to Netflix and YouTube and stuff now, because we get to see live what the guys overseas are doing, like the BS for Bolt kind of guys. The shit that's happening out there that's absolutely insane. And there's so many cool guys to watch, like Cletus McFarlane. I watch all his stuff. And it's interesting stuff. The guys are becoming celebrities and they're tuners. So people want to aspire to have cars like them and be like them, which is really cool to see. So I think there is a switch happening. Custom fabrications.
It means that guys are not just becoming part fitters; they're becoming builders again.
Yeah, which is really cool to see. Yeah,
there's a big difference between buying a car, opening a catalog, ordering shit, and then it comes in and just installing. And actually sitting and going, okay, cool. Well, let's build something new. How are we going to pull the numbers and stuff? That's actually quite exciting. When it comes to the ordering parts, is it more guys starting to manufacture now in South Africa, actually make their own stuff, or are we still relying on everything overseas?
Yeah. The guys here, they have actually sort of cottoned on to the fact that the stuff that they buy, like the bespoke stuff, is actually available here, and it's actually easier to make. Well, not easier to make it here. Once obviously the machine set up and whatever, but once places are set up, you can actually do it. There's like Leon at Petrol Heads, a guy that I know. He's got some serious cars. He races a 3.7 liter Alpha. He's got a GTR in the works, and he's got that twin turbo V8 Isuzu. And that guy, he's doing some cool shit that's going to be coming with printing of parts in the future. And then Vickers, he runs Goldbach and Delaray, the Delaray Racing Developments. He just went yesterday testing at Swartkops with his new caddy, the new setup in the caddy. And if you see that caddy, it is absolutely amazing. It's the most intensive build I've ever seen on a car in this country. It is really amazing. And all the parts that he needed for that, he did himself on his own CNC machine. So there's so much custom fabrication. And that's full. I mean, that's got independent suspension on a caddy bucky on the rear. It's just mad what he's done. So there's a lot of guys like that coming out of the woodwork now. And it's not like they're going to be flooding the market. I mean, it takes a lot of skill. But there are some skilled guys. There's also a place they're based at Swartkops. They're starting to do titanium exhausts for like the supercars, the twin turbo supercar stuff. And not many people in the country have actually got the equipment or the skill to weld with titanium, and that's a serious setup. So they're called Dodo Fab, and they do some amazing stuff there as well. So we've got companies like that are starting to grow and grow. And then like one of my favorites, I mean, they TMSS Motorsports. They do exhaust systems as well. They've got one on my Corsa, which you would never believe. It looks more valuable than the car. But they're doing from hot rods. They're doing McLarens and stuff like that. And you've got people with those kind of cars that are starting to play with things now as well. So yeah, I think it's starting to get exciting again.
I've noticed over the last few years, the quality of the race cars and stuff, especially drag cars, are going up. Like you can't. like
Yeah, it's mad,
hectically.
eh? Yeah,
Doopy,
they could win show and shines.
exactly. But no, the build quality and stuff.
Mm.
It's not just the fact of buying a car, throwing on a motor, big tire on it, and going. I mean, proper
Yeah.
roll cages, proper systems. I mean, everything. The quality of race cars just is going up. I mean, look, obviously, it's the now money talks when it comes to racing. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like I said, the quality of what the guys are pushing out is insane. It's more as we see guys that they can actually now compete on an international level. You know, um,
Yeah. And that's awesome to see actually, because we're a tiny little country. But
exactly.
when that handful of our local guys went over to the States to the World Cup finals
Mm.
in Maryland, they opened a lot of eyes. I mean, people heard a team was coming from South Africa, and I don't know what the perception was of South Africa, but they did not expect what they got.
Yeah,
And I mean, the guys from Butler with their BM, that thing is world class. That thing
I
kicks some serious ass over there.
I actually want to get them onto the show. They rated that BM as what the fastest BM in the world, isn't it?
It's the fastest of its type. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's the fastest BMW worldwide now. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
deep in the sixes,
Dude,
if I can recall. Yeah,
that is a huge thing for South Africa. Yeah.
yeah, no, absolutely mental, man. That is a proper build. But even like Quinton Boylan's Honda that he took over there as well. I
Mm.
mean, that thing is absolutely ridiculous. I did a shoot on that car for him a little bit before they took it overseas. And like you said, the quality of that car, it is absolutely nuts. Obviously, I mean, you have to have a decent budget to build something like that. It takes a big budget, but that's your life going down there at a couple of seconds down a quarter mile at stupid speeds. So it has to be a big budget build. But yeah, no, it's mad, man, and it's actually cool to see when it goes on the international stage and you see it.
Mm.
Like we watched it live. I made sure that every time that they did qualifying or any track time, I watched it live because the track streamed it. And it was just the coolest thing. I mean, I know I sit around and they watch the Boca go up and like, yeah, they're proud of the country. Dude, when those drag races were up there from South
Dude,
Africa and in industry I know and geez, like even now I get goosebumps. That was the
I'm
coolest shit. That's
I'm
bucket list
doing
stuff as well as Maryland with the locals or South Africans.
yeah. When I was dealing with some guys in the US, I explained to them because the problems that they look at South Africa, they look at Africa, and they think it's this enormous place. And I always have to explain to them, it's like, listen, we're actually like a small state more than anything, really small state. If you look at our population compared to anything else, but we are mad car people,
Yeah,
and our
the
engineers and
religion.
stuff. Yeah, it is. You know, I was talking to Vic Pardell the other day, and he said something that was so true. You go to the States and you expect to get in there and there's rat rods running on the roads the whole time and all these badass car, everything you saw in Fast and the Furious and all this type of stuff, and there's nothing. They like there's you don't see a lot of them. South Africa, if you look at just the amount of guys who's running mod wheels and that,
Yeah.
I mean, you get if you had a we both say I want to use the term. If you had day jobs where you had to drive to an office every day, not like us that just try and get past the cats and the dogs. Um, then you actually notice how many custom cars are actually out there in the country. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like a
no, and
religion.
they're not afraid to drive them. Yeah, they're
Exactly.
daily drivers. They're not just weekend cars. Yeah,
Mm. Well, that was the thing when I was talking to Dan Kahn, and then they were saying they're seeing a trend in the US where the guy has his daily driver, and then he's got his custom weekend type of
yeah,
car. And my response to that, yeah, well, you guys have money, we don't. Okay, you got
yeah. It's
one
a lot
car, bro.
easier.
That's it.
Yeah. No, like over there, you can be flipping burgers. You can have like a sort of a student out of school job, and you can afford a Mustang. Here, if you're not raking in 50K a month, the bank's not even going to look at you for financing a Mustang. So
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
do what you can with what you got. Yeah,
Exactly. Well, that's the big thing. We're still a country where we build what we got. You build what you get your hands on. some point I wanted to make earlier with before I forget it, with the race car build. Do you think shows like Street Outlaws had a big part of that? I mean, where guys were actually seeing how these guys in the States are building their cars. It's not just like fucking roll cages and the fuel
Yeah, yeah.
systems and everything. They saw that that's the proper way of going.
Yeah,
Even at
it's
street race.
definite. Yeah, definitely had an influence on it. Like I said, now with like fiber and access to internet being so much easier, especially on mobile devices. I mean, I'm part of a bunch of WhatsApp groups. They're all motoring, and there's so many videos that I get on there multiple times from around the world, all the time, all day long, and they just become viral on your phone. There's so much cool shit that's happening out there now, man. It's nuts.
Well, you can connect with people so quickly now. Eh?
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Like you can see these guys that like the Cletus McFarlanes and stuff, and you can actually drop them a message on the thing. And when some of them are like really busy, like millions of subscribers, but some of the guys actually do get back to you, and that's a cool feeling, man. They're like celebs
Yeah.
in your world. People look up to them, yeah. So they are role models, and yeah, I dig it. So yeah, it's cool.
But
No, all cool.
listen, dude, all the best going forward, man. I
Yeah,
know it's
shots,
tough
man.
times, but I always say it's it's the reality now. Tomorrow's another day.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're not guaranteed to have tomorrow though, so that's the thing. So
Yeah.
you gotta just do it.
Yeah.
Just make it work, man.
Exactly. Just like I said, that was saying, just keep swinging. Okay.
Shot you too, man. Thanks for everything,
Yeah.
man.
Bye.
Cheers.